this was the tweet I put out this morning. Now, this is obviously being recorded on the 20th of November. So it was earlier this morning I put this out. And the first thing I said was, important chart to focus on the dollar index as it's in a firm upward trend channel. Until it breaks, the US dollar is bullish. Now, this is a mistake a lot of traders make, is they assume something is bearish just because it's approaching this line for, say, the fourth time. Now, as a rule of thumb, and take this from years of having to pay up for this experience, is that never ever assume something's going to break, never preempt a break, just let it break. Okay, this is obviously a trend that's been in place now for 2 months, 3 months. Once it breaks, it's not going to just stop. Okay, you're likely to get a couple of days of dollar selling. So for one, there's no need to preempt. Okay, more importantly, it's so important to be aware. If you're a dollar trader, or you trade the euro, the pound, the yen, whatever it might be, it's so important to be aware of, when is there general flow in the dollar and when is there not. Okay, when is there flow if you're a euro currency trader? When is there flow in the euro sterling? Okay, because at the end of the day, a currency pair is not just one currency; it's one currency against another. So you need to be aware of both the technical and fundamental landscape of both currency pairs. Okay, so that being said, I then went on and said, Bund-BTP spreads at the widest level since 2018. Euro-dollar FX will see pressure once it fails to extend yesterday's high. Okay, so what I was ultimately leaning on here was the fact that, the euro was at a technical price point where I wanted to sell. Equally, we could see that the dollar had found an area of potential support. And lastly, we were aware of the fact that this, Bund-BTP spread at its widest should have a negative impact on the euro currency. Why? Because of the correlation between, the spread and the euro. Right. So there was a confluence of factors here. Now, the important thing to take away from this, and this is the key lesson, all right, is that do not make the mistake in assuming that because I have such a high level of conviction of a short in the euro that I simply just come in and short it. Okay, that's the biggest fallacy ever. No, you've still got to wait for the timing. You've still got to allow the market to tell you that point in which you want to sell. Okay, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that point in which the market showed me to sell. I didn't have to preempt. I simply just waited for the footprint to give me the observation, and then I executed. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Effectively, what we're looking at is a level in mind. Okay. So sometimes you guys have got levels, you've got these key areas, key resistance, key breakouts, etc., etc. So the first thing is to obviously be aware of which are key levels and keep that in mind, okay? Now, when we fail to break those levels, those key levels that we've identified, the interaction is the observation we're looking for, and that's the interaction I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so the chart we're pulling up is the Euro-Dollar FX. It is from the 20th of November, and the time will be pretty much 8 a.m. So right on the European cash session open. Okay, so we can see Europe opens. 114.89 is yesterday's high. We extend. Volume picks up, delta picks up. Okay, so a clean break. We can see the buyers are engaging. We can see buyers are buying up here, and equally some sellers are providing liquidity. Okay, so right now what we've got is buyers on the break. Market comes back, tests that area, and bounces again. Again, nice aggressive buyers, semi-decent volume. Comes back again. So each one of these 5-minute rotations. So for almost 15 minutes, we just sat at the break point. Okay, now something very interesting happens. The market comes in and consolidates on that break point, on the 114.89. But again, notice the pickup in volume. Okay, so what we're seeing here is that volume is maintained, right? The delta is maintained, but prices are starting to go in the opposite direction. Okay, now our key level was 114.89. We were very focused on that area because of the fact it was yesterday's high, because of the fact there was a response from buyers there, and then also because of the fact that we were wanting to be short because of BTP bunds, the dollar index, etc., etc. Okay, and this is our clue. Here it comes in here. Okay, we come back into range, so we can see the market comes back into range. We then get a little bit of an offer. Okay, now what I am going to say to you is traditionally, sometimes the markets will be a little bit more friendly and give you a bit more time to react. Okay, but unfortunately in this instance you have to be very, very aggressive. We then get the confirmation. Okay, this is our confirmation that now sellers have stepped up. Not only have they sold back below yesterday's high, but now they're becoming actually quite intentional and aggressive. Okay, and it continues, and it continues, and it continues, and it continues. Okay, all in all, we sold off from those 114.89s down to 114.46. Okay, a good 40 tick sell off in a space of half an hour. Right, and that was our first clue, that failed extension where the buyers were buying for the break, they all got caught up in the wrong space, sellers stepped in and they initiated. And that's the interaction we're looking for. We're looking for that interaction candle. Okay, for me in terms of execution, of course I would have loved a retest of 89s, didn't get it. Okay, I had to end up selling in and around this area here at 114.77. Okay, so sold quite aggressively, which meant that I wasn't going to use as much risk. Okay, so instead of having a full clip, I was probably maybe 50-60% a clip, simply because I was being very aggressive in terms of entry, but still managed to take advantage of the opportunity. Okay, and we can see that. Look at the negative delta throughout. Just really, really intentional selling. Volume picks up to the highest levels of the day. The selling was really, really, prominent in that area. Okay, now what this means going forward is that this little area of 114.89 acts as a very good barrier. More importantly, if we scale the current day's highs, don't be surprised to see a really big break to the upside. Why? Because we can see the sellers not only accepted and provide the liquidity up here, but they then also initiated very, very aggressively. So we've got a short position now sitting in the Eurodollar FX.